Hello guys and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, hello. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. My name is Alita and I do beauty videos every Sunday at 10 a.m. and I am so excited for today's video. So today I just wanted to do a video of beauty tips and tricks that I have figured out since I started doing my makeup, and I just hope that it helps some of you accomplish the makeup look that you want to. So let's get started. Okay, so my first tip is moisturizer. You should always put moisturizer on before you do your makeup. Right here I have the Neutrogena Hydro Boost. This is like a holy grail of moisturizers. I love this stuff. You really don't need a lot. I just take a little bit on my finger like that. This is what it looks like inside of the component. You do get a lot. It is like $20, but it lasts a while and you do get a lot inside of the component and you really don't have to use that much. So I just love this product. It makes your face feel so hydrated and so soft. There's my kitty. Okay, so for the next tip is doing a cream bronzer before you do your foundation. This seems super weird, super crazy, but I have watched Scott Barnes do this on Tati Westbrook's channel so many times, and it just turns out so good every time. So if you guys are like going out and you want to make sure your makeup stays and you really want it to look snatched, then you should definitely try this trick. So I'm just going to go ahead and I just dabbed into my Huda Beauty cream bronzer. This is what it looks like in the component. This is in the shade medium, and I just dabbed lightly into there, and I'm literally just going to contour my face like I would if I already had foundation on, except I'm not going to blend as well as I would. I'm just going to kind of blend this out a little bit. So it kind of looks rough, but once you put the foundation on, that is when the magic happens. So I always contour my cheekbones right here. And then I also go up here on the top of my forehead. So I'm gonna go ahead and do all of those parts and just kind of quickly blend them out. And then I'm going to take my Stay Naked Urban Decay 24-Hour Weightless Foundation in the shade 50WY and my Fenty Beauty foundation brush. This is my favorite foundation brush and I am loving this foundation. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about this foundation, but I personally really do like it. And I'm just going to go ahead and apply this right over where I put my cream contour and just all over my face like normal foundation. And one thing that I really like about this technique is that sometimes I just don't contour again over my foundation and it still just looks so good. So this technique is a game changer for contouring. Another tip within this tip though is if you're using a really like heavy full coverage foundation, make sure to just blend that cream contour a little bit less than I did. Otherwise it will seem like kind of a waste to you. You'll be like, hey, that didn't really help me, but because the foundations are so full coverage, sometimes it just covers it all up. And this foundation is a medium coverage, so it's medium buildable. Okay, now that my foundation is all applied, we are going to go into my next beauty tip, which is brush techniques. I am going to go ahead and use the Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette for this look. I have been loving this palette. These shades are beautiful. It did not get the credit it deserved, I don't believe. She really killed it with this palette. It's way better than the first one. I think the first one killed it and this one is even better. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take my Morphe 505 brush. It is just a fluffy blending brush. You guys know I love this brush. I use it like every video. I need like 20 of them. They are great blending brushes. I am in love with it. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and take this shade right here. It is called Thick Skin. And I'm just gonna put that in my outer crease. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my brush and I'm gonna dip into this shade, and I do tap a little bit off just to reduce fallout. So when I hold my brush, I'm going to hold it at the end. We don't want too much pressure. I see a lot of people holding their brushes up here, and while that gives you a lot of control, it's giving you extra weight to your brushes. So hold your brush down here a little bit and just lightly in circular motion start applying that shade to your outer crease, and you will see that it goes on pretty much exactly where you want it to, and it goes on so nicely. And this is the way that I've found to really apply your eyeshadow nicely, is to apply light pressure while going in circular motions. Okay, so both eyes have that color applied and it is looking really pretty. These shades are just so pigmented. I only dipped into the pan twice for each eye, and yeah, it looks really, really good. It looks really, really pretty. Next, I'm going to take this smaller Morphe blending brush, and I guess this is kind of a mini tip. If you're going from your outer crease to your inner crease, you can always go down a brush size to just make sure that you're not getting that shade, that shade somewhere where you don't want it to, like on your lid if you're doing a cut crease, or everywhere. If you just need to knock it down to a smaller brush size, that is perfectly fine and it works really, really well. I'm gonna go in with the shade Perfectionist. It's just a little bit lighter than the shade Thick Skin, and I'm gonna put that on my inner crease just to kind of create a sort of ombre with the brown colors. And using this little brush is really allowing me to just get this on my crease and not get it all over my lid, and also blend these two colors together. It really helps with that. Once again, I'm just holding my brush at the end and going in slow, light circular motions. I'm not putting too much pressure. Okay, so that shade is applied, and my next tip is going to be for cut creases. And this took me forever to figure out. I was never really good at cut creases, but I finally figured out a trick that works well for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my concealer. This is the Juvia's Place concealer in the shade 19, and I'm just going to dab some onto my hand. I see people do this. Some people have the plate that they use, but really whatever works for you, just go ahead and do it. Okay, so for the cut crease, I'm going to take my concealer brush. It is just a flat brush, and I'm going to dip in to the concealer. You do not want too much, so just dip into the concealer that you put on your hand and kind of bring it down as you dip into it, so it kind of wipes off some of that excess. And then go right where your lash line is, in the middle, and you're gonna dab that concealer onto your lash line, just onto your lash line. Try to get it into as straight of a line as you can, and then you're gonna look up, and it's gonna leave this line right here. It's gonna leave this line right here, and that is gonna be your guide. That's gonna tell you how high to bring your cut crease, and it's really, really, really helpful when you don't know where to put your cut crease. So I'm going to finish this cut crease, and then I will be right back. Okay, and as you guys can see, that cut crease is done. Both of them are actually done, and this trick just helps me so much to get these cut creases done fast. Like, you guys don't really know how long it took me because I sped it up, but really it was only a few minutes, and both of my eyes were, the creases were cut, and we are ready to go. So I really, really love this tip because it just gives you that line, and it's natural because that's where it is when you open your eyes. So it looks super natural that way, and I struggled for the longest time with not knowing this trick with cut creases. Like, I just didn't like to do them because I didn't not really know what I was doing until I found this tip. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and do the rest of the eyes, and then we are going to be back with another tip. Okay, and to finish off this eye look, I just took the shade Feelin' Myself, which is this orangey kind of shade, and I just put it into my outer corner and blended it up a little bit, but I left the cut crease there so that it just adds a little pop of color, but it's not too crazy. Okay, my next tip is to bronze your face before you do concealer. I know this sounds a little weird. Most people do concealer and then bronze, but I am going to use my Kylie bronzer in the shade Tanned and Gorgeous and my BH Cosmetic brush, and I am just going to bronze up my face first. Okay, so now I have my face bronzed, and now I'm going to take my concealer and I just dab a little tiny bit into my corner. And the reason why I do concealer after bronzer is because when I go to blend in my concealer, it kind of creates a sharper line where my bronzer is supposed to end. Since I didn't really cover up my concealer with my bronzer, which tends to happen a lot with fallout, it just kind of creates a little bit of a harder line there. And it kind of looks like I have highlighter on already, even though I don't. But once I put highlighter over this, it really brings out that highlighter because it's just more of a distinct line right there. But don't blend your concealer into your bronzer because cream over powder doesn't go over well. I'm just gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other eye. And I love this concealer, you guys. When I say you only need a little bit, like it could maybe ruin your life if you got too much. Like the tiniest bit, this stuff is thick, it is full coverage, and it works so beautifully. Okay, so my next tip is for applying mascara. The first part of this tip is get a lash primer. This one is the Milani. It is the violet one. I love this. I hated it at first, but you just have to make sure that you barely have any on this little brush right here. If you don't have too much product on this brush, it works beautifully. When you're putting on your mascara, just try to go back and forth. I know a lot of people just go up and up and up and up and up, but if you go back and forth, it kind of stretches out your lashes and separates them and makes them like go their own way, so that way your lashes just look so much fuller. And this lash primer, you guys, is a holy grail. It is a saving grace. I love it. It works so good. It is so nice if you use it correctly. So please listen when I say to only use a little bit of this lash primer, because it will hurt your eye look if you use too much. Okay, the top lashes are on and they look so good. I'm gonna go ahead and do the bottom lashes. I do use the lash primer on the bottom lashes sometimes, but I'm honestly running out. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other eyelashes, just applying in a back and forth motion with a little bit of product on the lash primer brush. Also, looking up really helps. You look kind of silly, but it helps. And another tip with this lash primer is just don't let it dry on your lashes before you put the mascara on. Put your mascara on with a lash primer still wet, otherwise you're gonna have a really hard time and your eyelashes are gonna just get really clumpy. So there's another tip for you if you do end up trying this lash primer. I'm not really sure about any other lash primers. I don't really use lash primers all that much, but I know for a fact that this one is a little weird if you don't use it right. Okay, you guys, my mascara is done and it looks so, so good. Like, sometimes I feel like with this lash primer and this mascara, which is the Ulta Beauty Bold Ambition Mascara, sometimes I just feel like I have fake eyelashes on with this combo. It's beautiful and I love it. Okay, so my next tip is, this is actually my next and my last tip, is to always have a little bit darker eyeliner than you do liquid lip, lipstick, whatever you may be wearing that day. So I am going to take the NYX Suede Matte Lip Liner in the shade Mason. It is this dark brown shade with the Jeffree Star Velour Liquid Lipstick, the mini one, in the shade Mannequin. I love this liquid lip. This liquid lip is like the best one I've ever had. It stays on, it doesn't feel like you have like a heavy lip on, and I just love that. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this NYX lip liner and I'm just going to line my lips. And I always also just go down the middle right here. I don't know why, I just feel like it might help. Okay, so now my lips are all lined with this liner, and I love this liner, and these are so cheap. They're like $2.99 I think, and they are worth it. NYX knocks it out of the park with these liners. Okay, now I'm gonna take my Jeffree Star Velour Liquid Lip in the shade Mannequin, and I'm just going to apply that to my lips. So I usually just apply the lipstick to my bottom lip, and then I just kind of go like this and put it on my top lip, and then if I need more, I'll just add a little tiny bit to the bottom lip and then just kind of spread it out like that. That seems to work really good, so that way you're just not getting too much lipstick everywhere, because that has definitely happened to me before. But this trick just gives your lips such a pretty, like, ombre sort of look. Especially with these two colors together, I love it. It is so nice. It looks so pretty with any look, just about. Like, I wear this lip combo all of the time and I am in love with it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave me a comment down below. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know if you have any video ideas. If you guys want content just like this every single day, go ahead and follow my Instagram. I will link it right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love your support and I love doing these videos for you. So I will see you next week. Bye!